Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. But first we're going to, pull a card. We're going to see, the Magician, of course. Of course, I was just meditating on this person earlier. We have the Magi, we have the Magician, we have the architect of realities, right? The world builder. This card is one that it's a exciting, beautiful, you might feel empowered when you receive this card, when this is the energy that is within your life. But it is also one of great responsibility. As you see, the Magi, the Magician, is somebody who has an insatiable need to learn, to collect data, to have continually building systems, right? Things that are becoming maybe more complex or maybe more streamlined or, evolving into other things. And the Magi is like if you could imagine an operator, a pilot, a explorer, right? They're not just looking for the good, the positive experiences. To be able to build out a reality, a world, you must experience everything in its totality. That takes a lot of weight. That's a lot to carry. That is a lot of courageousness to have to muster up. It's not easy, but it's profound, and I'm glad to see it. All right, here we go. Now that we've all been a little enchanted there. Okay. It seems to be that we are in a place of anxious energy, anxious unknowns, right? And so I really feel in my own being, my own spirit, this need for little moments of quiet and peace and maybe the ease of not thinking of those existential and oppressive strands of consciousness that seem to be just really, really, really alive right now. So I hope that as we do this reading, you can find also a little place of ease, a little safe harbor here. We're all friends after all. All right, let's see. We have a person holding a child right up in the middle there. Actually, twice. Okay, so we have, and let me get this, we have a person right here holding out, and here's a child. The face would be kind of facing this way, and here's the face of the person facing this way. Okay, now we also have, it looks like almost in the shadows, bird flying away. And then down here we have another person standing, holding out, and it looks like a child as well. Okay, but this time it looks like it's facing outwards. The child is looking outwards, the person is looking outwards. So to me, this is it's a very interesting meditation, right? One of being, here we are creating this bond, this interpersonal relationship with maybe your child, maybe it is with your interior child, or the concept of childhood in general, right? When we are going through our histories, we are doing our inner workings, and we come to these places where there is a lot of potent awe, wonder, a dire desire for exploration, for knowledge, for wonder, out into the imagination, mixed into the material, right? And this is very much aligned with that child energy, right? Do you remember your ability to not question things immediately? Do you remember the ability to just experience it for what it is? Not to categorize it or liken it to something that you've already seen or felt or watched a documentary about or whatever, right? This is very aligned with that child archetype. I know. The child as a archetype is kind of funny because as we are as adults, children are as varied as anybody else, right? But it really is this feeling of here we are looking into each other's eyes. We are seeing each other. We are learning each other. We are, encoded into one another, really, right? As you go through the process of a child growing in your care or you growing in the care of another. This is a deeply sacred, in my opinion, a deeply sacred experience and bond, right? Whatever that looks like, if it is a positive experience or not. Now, we also have this energy of then preparing the child to see the world, to experience the world more autonomously, right? To help build a child, help them grow and evolve into a being that can go out and navigate this universe as much as we can assist in that. Now, be that, again, our literal children or people we have taken care of, or maybe, you're a teacher or a social worker or a volunteer and you work with children or whatever it might be. But I think this is so much about raising ourselves. In fact, I feel so often in these readings, we want to hear about the happenings, right? The happenings of the world. How are we faring in our jobs, in our relationships, in our monies? And that's okay, of course. These are important aspects, and we do talk about them here. But also, we do often find ourselves wandering into these interior works, into these concepts that are a little more abstract or maybe kind of foreign to a lot of us. But here I feel you really looking at yourself with kindness, Taurus, with love, with the love that you form with something that you care deeply and endlessly for and with. You're falling in love with yourself. And I know there's an instinct to kind of recoil even hearing that. Ugh, that sounds cheesy, Lenor. Ugh. In the age of narcissism, right? Falling in love with her. Who isn't falling in love with themselves constantly? Taking 80 pictures just to get the right one and constantly fixing up and pulling and tucking and altering our personalities and holding our emotions and letting them free and being this and being that and making sure everybody knows and, all the things that we do that dance. but to really fall in love with oneself, to court oneself, to be brave and to stand there bare in front of the mirror. And I mean truly and metaphorically, of course. But to just see yourself for what you are. And all of the things that you are not. In your failings. In your triumphs. Beyond those whispers of humbling and temperance and quiet. No. To bust through that. To look at yourself and see, this is who I am in this bare light of day. Wrinkled and scarred and tired and God, so beautiful and knowing and wise. And damaged. But in the ways that you've needed to be so that you can thrive, so that you can work the way that you need to and adjust and change. Continuing to change. Anyhow, I know I got lost in it. It felt nice. It felt like a beautiful sun, a southern sun through the window on a real cold afternoon. But then it just hits you and you feel it and you think, oh, there's life here. And that's what it feels like, to fall in love with ourselves, I think. But I feel that you have been, and I feel that there's this becoming. Now, maybe it is that you are forming a new personality, a new face to show the world. And maybe it is that you are pulling those things away and you are finally saying, I am just going to be this person who I am in all of these moments, the many faces that I have, and I'll let people see that. Maybe not everybody, but I'll let somebody. And more and more and more, I will share myself with the universe, maybe. Maybe just being here and all the beauty and glory that you are. Now, let's get down to some of these words that I'm seeing here. We have what looks to me, I keep thinking this must be like the Andy. I just keep seeing the name Andy, which I have to say feels like it's speaking to me. My first husband, his name was Andrew. He passed when I was just about 30. And he was a Taurus. So I see this and I think, yeah. Don't worry. We're still here, bud. Andy. I never called him that, though. I never called him Andy. His mother did, though. His mother, his brothers. Now, it could also be Allie. That's the other thing. It looks like it could be A-L-L and maybe Y or I. Oh, no. Maybe I did this wrong. Yeah, there we go. A-L-L L, L, and then I think a Y. I don't know. I think Allie, maybe Andy, an A name. An A name. We have a cold ocean. And a sense of having to be brave so often. And I think that's what opens the Magician for you. I feel that you must have been like the oldest maybe, or maybe the like middle, in the middle somewhere child. Could be an only child, I suppose, but I feel like there was this real distinct moment in childhood where things shifted greatly. Now, it must have been something that affected income, because I feel that there was a worry of money. I remember, and that's what it feels like you saying. Like, I remember being suddenly acutely aware of money and bills and responsibilities. And I feel like you must have been, maybe around, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 years old, somewhere in there. I remember the shift. That's what it keeps feeling like. All of a sudden, you had to become a very serious person in ways that really alienated you from people that you were close with, like your friends, right? Like the friends you had been growing up with. Suddenly, this thing happens, whatever it is, divorce, maybe somebody passed away, financially, something, went awry, whatever it is. So suddenly you are no longer living this, what you would consider normal lifestyle or life, right? Where the people around you continue on. And I feel that this really, it left a distinct they and me, or me and they, or I and they, or whatever, however you say it. There was a separation here, right? There was a chasm that opened up. And I feel like that's something that it has informed. It has informed your personality, the way that you exist within the world. You're very quick to it's not about being reactive. So, it is reactive, but you're vigilant. You become vigilant quickly. Very and problem solving. Let's get this figured out now. You're an earth energy, so this makes sense, right? I'm also I'm a Virgo, so we snap into it. We're like, yo, let's do this. We're like, I might not be like the best, good at like long-term planning all the time. I'm not the best at it. I'm just going to be real. But you put me in a situation where things are getting sticky and I will figure it out. You better believe. And I'm going to come out with the best outcome, right? And we're going to make this thing work, and we're going to, there will be no losses here, baby. You understand me? So I feel Taurus, and, from my first marriage, I can say that, we were on it. Having two solar earth signs together, we were problem solvers. And so I can feel this, it's almost like when things calm down, and I keep looking at the snail right here. There's a snail, and then above it, there's the Ace of Cups. Okay, so we have the cup. I feel like for you, when things slow down, you almost immediately feel stagnant. if things aren't changing in a pace that like makes you feel alive, all of a sudden it feels like you're like wearing, 2 seasons ago, jersey, or well, kicks or whatever, right? Like your stuff is like out of fashion. Now, we live in a very postmodern world at this time, so that doesn't necessarily compute anymore. But back in the day, if you're old like me, you remember when it was a big deal. Now, not for me, I was always poor. It was a big deal to be wearing old stuff. Like stuff that was, out of fashion last season. Oh, that's what people were wearing like 5 years ago. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's like that still, maybe not. I still dress like I did when I was, 13. So what do I know? But you're always on it. Here's the deal. Sometimes you have to slow down. All of that is to say, sometimes you need to slow down. You need to pump your brakes, baby. I just feel like this like, okay, so we're in a place where a lot of things are making us feel like, at least where I'm at in the world, right, are pulling us in different directions. Like, I need to get, involved in. I need to fix. I need to help. I need to, get out there, and people need to know. They need to hear my voice. They need to, I need to go whatever, lend my support, align myself with. And there's this like overwhelming, almost like, it almost feels oppressive. Like we must align ourselves. Like we must, get involved in a very, I don't even know how to say it, very like one-minded kind of way. I'm not one-minded. I don't know how to say it, but like to toe the line, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like to toe the line. And the more that you feel that thing, that foot on your neck, to align yourself with something, the more we pump our brakes and we say, I'm going to be dwelling in a more rational mind here. I'm going to detach from the initial emotional, reactive, and it's constant because we're so plugged in now. The crisis is not, it used to, even just like 5 years ago, 24-hour news site. Dude, there's never a time when there's not crises happening. Like, we used to say, oh, it's a slow day in the news. When is there ever a slow day anymore? The world probably is as chaotic as it's ever been. Let me just say that. I know it's hard to remember because the Western world is being very affected right now, so it feels more immediate, but the world is always in chaos, right? And there are endless things to worry about and endless things to pull us in different directions, so that we put all of our not just energies into something, but also in a more nefarious sense, that we put all of our freely tell people where our beliefs are, our alliances are, whatever, what we align with. That is sacred knowledge. I'm all for people sharing about everything about themselves. If you want to, that's fine. But it's also sacred. And so when we come into these places where all of a sudden things that feel very close to home are happening, and we feel that we need to, get involved in some way, and that's okay. And we, if you feel called to that, then do it. Do what you have to do. And I don't mean that on any side, to whatever you are, but here is the thing. It is all engineered to make you feel this way. Period. The universe is constantly trying to elicit reactions from us on all levels, in every aspect of your life. If you drop the freaking coffee on the floor before you even had the first sip, you stub your toe you just put the metal frame together on the bed and, oh, it's beautiful. And then immediately you stub your toe on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are constantly going through the ordeals. Little, big, small, microscopic, macrocosmic. Pump your brakes, baby. It's going to be all right. I promise you, it'll be all right. It might not look the same. Might feel quite different out here. But I promise you, it's going to be all right. The thing is, and here's the thing. Here's the little asterisk to that. It's going to be all right. Asterisk. You are the captain of your own destiny. That means you're in charge. That means you are that magi, aren't you? You're the one calling the shots. You are the creator. You're also the created. Everything in between. All right, so music. Music is important for you this week, okay? In this next period of time, I want you, my love, I want you to dance. I want you to get into your living room. You're on your walk to work, in your car, you're listening to music, whatever, wherever. Go to a show if you do. Take me in spirit. I miss going to shows so much. Any show, dude, I would go to literally anything right now, honestly. I probably, not anything, but I would probably see a lot. Like, there are some, I used to be not a snob, but I lived in Minneapolis in like the early thousands and the tens, and there were so many venues and so many shows every night that like you had to kind of like, you had to pick what your route was going to be or whatever. So I miss going to shows deeply, but I do feel, and I'm going to say, I do feel that music is the way here. Some of us are really unlocked by music and movement, okay? Taurus, you are one of those people, 100%. Get into that feeling, let yourself get lost in it, just absolutely. Today, I was going hard on some REM. I know, right? I was super vibing with some REM today. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Right? So anyways, also the number 16 seems to be important here for you. Number 16, Taurus. Now, let's also do our other lucky numbers. These are our 3 lucky numbers. We have 84, number 84, number 41, number 89. Sounds good. All right. Well, Taurus, I love you. Thank you for being here. It's always such a great honor for me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, thank you again from my heart, my deepest part of my heart to yours. I love you. Please take care of yourself. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Watch out for each other. We are all we have. All right.